you know about retro ghetto, collecting and playing retro. Lock into the retro ghetto.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Retro Ghetto. So it's been some time since I did a video games to invest in episode on my channel, having previously done 3. And with me recently proclaiming my love for the Xbox 360 and making you guys aware that I think it's going to become very collectible in the non too distant future, or certainly more so than it is now, I thought what better time than to look at games to invest in, but do it solely on the Xbox 360. As I said, I've previously done 3 episodes on the channel covering games I think that you can make money on. Now, as I used to state on those videos, I don't care what you do with this information. Whether, like me, you just buy them now so that you don't have to pay more money in the future to add them to your collection, or whether you want to flip them, make money, I don't knock the hustle. You do whatever you want to do. I'm just going to give you guys the information as to why I think they're going up in value, and hopefully be able to prove that to you with some stats and figures along the way. I've grabbed a few of the games that I previously highlighted on these episodes, such as The Walking Dead Survival Instinct. I told you guys to pick this up when it was £35. It's now selling for £70 at CEX.
What the hell are you doing? What's it look like I'm doing? I'm saving the damn day.
Sin and Punishment for the Nintendo Wii. I told you guys to pick this up when it was 20, it's now 35. Biker Mice from Mars on the PlayStation 2. When I advised you pick this up, it was going for just £3, that's now selling for £8. Tank 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 on the Wii U. This was going for £28, it's now £50.
Tank, tank, tank!
I also advise you guys to pick up the Metal Gear Solid HD collection on the Xbox 360. That's more than doubled, it was 15 and that's now selling for £32. Don't get me wrong guys, there's no guarantees. Not every single game that I've mentioned on the previous episodes has gone on to double in value or anything like that. Sometimes you've got to play the waiting game, and sometimes I might just be wrong. But as I say, I'm going to give you 10 Xbox 360 games today that I believe will increase in value, and I'm going to give you the reasons as to why. And we're going to kick this list off with Death Smiles. Whilst I was actually penning this episode out and I was looking at which games I think will go up in value, I had this one written down at £12. Since I started collating this list roughly a week or so ago, it's actually gone up already to 15. So it already shows you this game is on the increase. I still think that £15 for this game is a very, very good price to get it for. That's what CX are currently selling it for. You probably pay a little bit more on eBay. The reason I think this one's going to increase, well, there's a couple of reasons. Firstly, it's a shmup, right? All shmups tend to go up in value. They're just one of them genres that people have a lot of love and affinity for. And if you look back across consoles, the vast majority of shmups have held their value, if not increased. And not only is it a shmup, it's a shmup by Rising Star Games. If you look at Rising Star and look at their other titles, they all seem to be going up in value. This is currently the cheapest Rising Star game on the Xbox 360 at £15 at CEX. I think that's going to be looking like a bargain in the not too distant future. Okay, next up we've got a sports game. That's Pro Evo 2018. If you're sitting at home thinking, what? Yes, Pro Evo 2018. It's already started the incline. That's actually sitting at £20, which is extremely expensive for a football game on the Xbox 360. However, as I've alluded to in my previous Xbox 360 video, I do think the console is going to get more and more collectible. There's a reason why it's £20 now, because it wasn't bought by many people. This is a game that came out on not only the PS3, but also on the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. So I mean, how many people actually bought this game on the Xbox 360? It's currently selling for even more on the PlayStation 3. My advice, if you can find this game for £20, pick it up. I think it's going to go upwards. And the next game I want to highlight is the Dead Rising collection. Now, a lot of these collections tend to hold their value or increase in value over time, especially if you're looking at that era, PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. And of all the collections on the Xbox 360, this one is the cheapest at just £6. On eBay, it's selling for roughly double that. This was something that never got a release on the PlayStation 3, and there's just 12 copies of this at time of recording available at CEX, which suggests to me this is an uncommon game. For £6, I don't think you can go too far wrong with this one. The next game that I want to highlight is not only one that I don't own, it's one that I've never actually seen a physical copy of in person, which probably tells you all you need to know, and that is Import Tuner Challenge. It's an uncommon game, but not particularly expensive. It's currently selling for £8 at CEX, and again, there's just 12 in stock. I shall make sure I'm ordering a copy of this game before this video goes live, so I've secured one. And as I say, it's just one of them games that's uncommon. If you look at eBay, one of the last sold listings went for £19.95, so yeah, I'll be picking this up as soon as I finish recording this video. As I've already discussed with the Dead Rising collection, collections tend to do very well, especially when people go back to previous consoles or the console generation before that. Rather than buying multiple copies, you're better off to just buy it all on one disc. What's even better than a collection is a HD collection. And the next game I want to highlight is Devil May Cry HD Collection. This is by far the cheapest of all the HD collections available on the Xbox 360. This is selling for just £6. My copy was actually £4 and I bought this not too long ago, so it shows you that it's already starting to increase in value. For £6 you're getting 3 great games I think they're going up in value. I mean, there's no reason not to go out and pick up this game. And next up, we've got another shmup. And not only is it another shmup, it's another shmup by Red Star Games. That was a mouthful. And that is Akai Katana. I recently picked this game up, and you can pick this up currently at CEX for just £20. You're not going to find it cheaper on eBay, and there's only 8 in stock currently at CEX. As I've already aforementioned with the first game we looked at, it's Rising Star Games, it's just shmup. Pick it up now. And next up is another game that I don't currently own, and another one that's recently gone up in price, but I think that's just the tip of the iceberg. I think this is going to continue to go up in price because of how common it is, and that is Fist of the North Star 2. This is currently selling for £25, but there's just 2 copies available currently at CEX. And if you look at the PlayStation 3 version, that's currently selling for £68. If you actually want to play this game and you come to buy it for the PlayStation 3 and it's £68, there's a lot of people that are going to think, you know what, I'm just going to pay £25 and play it on the Xbox 360. Another reason why it's just going to go up and up in value, because that's often a trend that happens. Once things get very expensive on the PlayStation 3, you'll find the Xbox 360 one will be steadily rising, not too far behind it. So yeah, for £25, I'd get this one picked up. Next up is yet another compilation, and that is Fighting Edition. Fighting Edition features Tekken Tag Tournament, Tekken 6 and Soul Calibur 5. You'll currently be picking this up at CEX for £10, and there's just 5 copies of this in stock. I mean, that tells you all you need to know. It's somewhat of an uncommon game. This is the only one I think I've ever found in CEX, so I picked it up straight away. It seems to steadily be increasing in value. But not only that, it's 3 fighting games which tend to hold their value anyway. It's 3 good fighting games, and if you were to buy the 3 games individually, you'd be paying £17. So I think for the £10 it's currently going for, you can't go too far wrong with Fighting Edition. This next one's a very interesting one. I've never heard of this game, let alone seen it out and about in the wild, and that is Crash Time. If you're thinking I've never heard of Crash Time either, well, not only is there a Crash Time, there's a Crash Time 2, 3, 4 and 5. They all seem to be somewhat uncommon. 3 being the less common and the cheapest at £6, so that if you're just interested in the series and you want to play around with it, 3 would be the way to go. But in terms of value, I think you're probably looking at Crash 5. 5's currently £38 on CEX, but I've seen it sell for a lot more on eBay. As I say, this is a strange series. It was sort of based on a German TV show, so I don't think it was overly plugged or advertised here in the UK. Obviously, there's a language barrier. We have very different cinematic tastes to our German counterparts. And yeah, I just don't think it was a game that sold all that well here. It's quite surprising actually that there was 5 titles in the series released on the one console. You don't get that too often, especially not these days. But yeah, I'd say the most difficult one to find would be Crash Time, the original one. There's currently no copies of that at CEX. And the most expensive one being Crash 5, as I say, and I think they've just got 1 copy in stock. So if I don't buy it myself, you might want to be quick and pick that one up. But yeah, the Crash Time series in general seems to be one that you should be picking up if and when you see them. Okay, we're on to the last game, and with the last game I always like to pluck a bit of a wild card, a bit of a gamble if you like. One that I can't really give you any definitive facts as to why I think it's going up. It's more of a gut feeling, and that is Nioh. Now this game at one point, I'm sure, correct me guys, or let me know in the comments if you know, people that study it a bit closer to me. I'm sure there was a point this game was in the low 40s, high 30s. This at one point was quite an expensive, very sought after game. This is currently selling on CEX for just £12. I mean, it's crazy how far down this game has gone. The thing is, the way I think it's going to go back up is because it can't really go down much lower than 12. It's a very highly regarded game, and they have started releasing newer games on newer systems under the Nioh franchise, so I think people often want to go back and see where the story began and see the origin of those games. At £12, I don't think you can go too wrong, and it's a good game, so yeah, if you see it, I'd buy it. Okay guys, so that's 10 games, or 14 games if you want to include all the Crash Time titles. I think that if you buy now for the CEX price, you can't go too far wrong. As I said at the start of the video, there's no guarantees. Don't come moaning at me in 6 months to a year's time and say, oh, I spent my nan's pension money and I've lost it all. There are far wiser ways out there to invest your money. For me personally, I just do it because I love video games. I love collecting video games. And whilst I'm not an expert on many things, I do love to keep abreast of current trends and values in the marketplace. Please guys, let me know in the comments if you've decided to pick up any of the games that you've seen on today's video. Equally, if you think I've missed any titles, if you think there's any glaring omissions from this list, Xbox 360 games in particular you think are definitely going to go up in value, let me know in the comments because we can always do a follow-up to this video. I'm going to get back to doing some more work on the 3.0. There's an update coming this Sunday. We've had the builders in. It's all kicking off. I can't wait to share it with you. But as always, play your games, keep it retro. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you all. Take care.
Retro Ghetto.